Yesterday's conspiracy theories, tomorrow's headlines. Most are still asleep and I ain't talking about no bedtime. The truth is not a Google search, you need to get your head right. The Greek goddess of illusion was called Media, and I'm not a coincidence theorist, I look for thread lines. Smashing every deadline, no longer smashing red wine. Though I can hear the bells chime, it feels like the end times. That probably should have been smashed on red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey and end up ghoulish. Don't get used by instinct, take control and learn to use it. Make a load of earnest music, earn a few quid, learn a few tricks. Sure, the truth is persecuted, this whole world is pure abusive. Know a bit about everything and everything about nothing. Figured out my noggin while you picture out shopping. You sit about watching while I dish it out, stop it. I don't mean to sound cocky, I'm not even proud of it. It's a second nature to me, just to be this out honest. I don't even need to sound honest, never been about profit. Everything but out on it, you can bet your house on it. Doubt I'll be out for the count when the sounds, and I'm down for the beat, no beat down. I mean, how long's it been? Help me out. I've been the only one who's held me down. All in the mind, hell freeze now. Still sick with it, healthy how? Few bars down and the world freaked out. I don't reach out, I seek out to speak out. I'ma recount the reasons they beat out.
Welcome, everyone, to the 509 Divine Pines podcast. I am your host, Joseph Daniel Pena. It is October 15th, 2024, and I hope you guys are having a great day. We are going to have a quick episode for you guys today. But first, I want you guys to like, subscribe, and share. Tell everybody around that this is going down. And if you guys could, go donate down below to 509 Divine Pines Cash App or PayPal. You guys can also check out my affiliates. Fuerza Elite, the Latin-inspired protein bar. It's awesome. Clean ingredients, 20 grams of protein. It is going to get you right for the morning, for the gym, at night, whenever. It's an awesome flavor. It's not chalky. And you're going to feel like you're donating to the right cause because it's owned by a Latin company. So if you guys could, go to fuerza-elite.com and use coupon code 509Joseph. You could also contact me for direct orders. I do have boxes, or I do individual sales. So either way, go check them out. You guys could also go to shopc60.com for the world's best antioxidant, a Nobel Prize winning antioxidant and oil. You can use it in gummies. There's also a facial cream if you want to have your cells a little bit more youthful and vigorous. And yeah, go to shopc60.com for a awesome antioxidant. Use coupon code 509 Divine Pines. And you can also go over to boomerboost.com for natural supplements, premium supplements, probiotics, minerals, vitamins, and everything that you need. You can use coupon code Joe30 for 30% off your order. And let's get to this. Let's get to this quickly. So the news is over here. I just got to switch the page.
Okay, look, I don't want to talk about names. I don't like to talk about politics, but I would just say one thing. Now, Venezuela and my country, Brazil, is on the bad situation because the government is fucking left. And if you guys want the USA, don't be there, stay right. It's Trump. For God. Okay, look, I don't want to talk about names. I don't like.
Man, that guy's been from Brazil. He's been in Venezuela. He knows about the gang problem, the militia problem, the government corruption, and how it's destroying the nation, destroying their nations. So he's saying, if we want America, if we want it to be peaceful, we need to vote the better choice. The guy who's already shown that our financial system and our border can be controlled. We're gonna go forward. There is this Florida solar farm that was wiped out completely. It's the devastating look. It's absolutely insane. Next, we have these Japanese guidestones that match the Georgia guidestones on the same latitude as the Georgia guidestones, where the Georgia guidestones were depopulation promoting, right? They said they only wanted 500 million people on the planet. Yes, that's what those guidestones says. It was created by a elitist, and yeah. I don't know why Japan is supporting it, but I guess we'll find out and see how Japan goes over the next 20, 30 years if they get wiped out too. Next, here is CBS manipulating an interview, and you guys can see it here. So they're only going to show you about 5 to 10 seconds of what the guy said, and the guy goes on for like 50 seconds or 40 seconds, and check it out.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it.
So that's a different accounting than this 2% you say was distributed.
Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. And when I was there on the ground, and you should go, I mean, bring the cameras and talk to the people there. They'll tell you, don't take politicians' words for this or the administration's word. Talk to the people there on the ground. They had not been provided the resources almost 2 weeks out from the storm that they desperately needed. And when I was there, 13 days post the storm hitting that state, people are still being rescued. They're stuck in the higher elevations in the mountains because the roads are down and all the rest. So they need every available resource and all hands on deck. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it.
So that's
in real time. These guys like manipulating the data. And next, if you guys have a kid who plays Fortnite, you guys should go see if they're selling their soul to the devil. In a new update, Fortnite allows players to go into a part of the map called the Underworld, which is down below. They make their way to this red creature on a throne who eerily looks like all depictions of the devil or a Satan-like creature. And you create a Faustian bargain. The Faustian bargain is selling yourself to the devil, right? That's what the ancient term Faustian bargain is. Well, this guy has horns, and if you give him some of your health, you get gifts or you get goodies, items. If you give him majority of your health, you can bring back your player from the dead. And it's just a pretty wicked thing. It definitely doesn't look right. Doesn't look cool. It's like that little Nas X stuff. You're gonna have kids just run into this because they see all the celebrities and all the famous people. They make deals with the devil and they're rich. People want to be rich these days because our adults and our society teaches money is everything. I mean, check it out. Here, this guy says to watch out for it. So, I'm just sharing it. And I hope you guys do your due diligence and keep your kids from playing this game.
And if you can now sell your soul in Fortnite, and this is raising a lot of controversy. So the character's name is actually Mephisto, and the way that you access him is through the underworld part of the map, and in exchange for health you get gifts. If you sacrifice a small portion of your health, you'll get a gift, and if you sacrifice 99% of your health, you can revive your teammate from the dead. And when you make the exchange, the little animation happens where it looks like a part of you goes to him. People are saying, relax everyone, it's just a game, and others are saying, don't care, not doing it, and there are 13-year-olds on this game. So what do you think? You can now sell
Yeah, man. I'm definitely not selling my soul to the devil, and I'm not gonna let any
That is
kid I ever
Madeline
have.
Rowley. She joins me now. Thank you for writing the piece. It can have been easy, and you're going to tell people about it in a moment. But I just want to show these statistics really quickly. This is the number of children who have been issued letters, are called letters of eligibility, to children who have escaped from their handlers. And as you see the numbers, in 2017 it was 506, bounces around a little bit from there, but in 2021 and 2022 to 23, you have over 2,000 of these. And these are just the people who escaped. So Madeline, tell us about what you went to find and what was your conclusion?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Dana. So I traveled down to Dallas and I shadowed a private investigator for the Shepherd's Watch Foundation, and they work to bring down sex trafficking rings all across the country because local and state law enforcement, they're totally inundated. So Shepherd's Watch comes in, and private investigators who work there help local law enforcement bring down some of these rings using intel. What struck me the most is just how easy it is to order a migrant girl or woman off a platform. And we're not talking the dark web here. We are talking just regular websites that are specifically meant, for sex solicitation. I spoke with a private investigator who told me that within 3 months of Biden opening the border in 2021, the ads for migrant women and girls shot up to 90%. 90% of the ads that she was seeing across the state of Texas were for migrant women and girls. So, this is clearly a problem that has shot up, as you showed in your graph. Mm-hmm. And I did have to FOIA the federal government to get those numbers, which again showed that, since Biden has been in office, the number of child eligibility letters given out have tripled.
And those are just the people who escaped. How many do you think are being held? And also, in your piece, you said it's not just women and girls, though that's the majority. There are young men and boys who are included.
That's correct. I mean, it's impossible to say how many of these, children, young women, and boys are still being held by their traffickers. It's a big problem. We're seeing it all throughout the country, especially with Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. They are known for human trafficking. But yes, this is also an issue with males. And this is something that I didn't know, and I think most people know. There's a shelter down in Texas, the only shelter for males in the U.S. who have been trafficked, and they care for, they have some migrant residents who have been sex trafficked. And they're finding there that the difference between perhaps the males and the females who are being trafficked is that the males are brutally tortured. Cartel and gangs, they brand them, tattoo them. There have been reports where fingernails have been pulled out, lemon juice poured on open wounds to keep them in line. So when I spoke to the executive director of Bob's House of Hope, my jaw was basically on the floor. Mm-hmm. So this is not something that just happens to women and girls.
Madeline, it's a lot to take in. In the piece, I just want to give you one last chance to talk about this one specific story. Like the private investigator takes you to a hotel and you make eye contact with one of these girls. Tell us about that.
Yes, so we worked with one of Shepherd's Watch intelligence contractors who had contacted a woman or a girl. It's hard to say how old they are because, again, the gangs and traffickers use counterintelligence techniques like placing emojis over the girl or woman's face to conceal their age. So he was speaking with one of the girls who was at a Motel 6 in Plano, and we drove there and saw the girl open the door, and directly after the girl opened the door at the motel and saw that nobody was there, a man, perhaps her pimp or trafficker, most likely according to the private investigator, he opened the window and looked around the parking lot. So that was definitely an adrenaline rush there. But right after that happened, we went to a Motel 6 about 2 miles away and did something similar. So when people say that this is happening in your backyard, it truly is. And that's not something I realized until I saw what I saw in Dallas.
Madeline, one quick question. This is not just happening in Texas. This is across the country.
That's correct. And that's also another very important point. So something that these traffickers do is they travel with these girls and women all throughout the country. For example, the first girl that we saw who opened the door, her profile on the website said that she lived in Philadelphia and she was, in Texas for a good time. So these traffickers move the girls and women all throughout the country, and this is not something that's just happening in Texas. Right. It's happening all throughout the U.S.
Madeline, you're a brave girl, and I am happy to know you and want to stay in touch. It's a really important topic. We got to get better.
Man, the sex trafficking has gone up since 2021, since Kamala, the border czar, started ruining things. And with that, Aurora, Colorado is under attack pretty much from these same Tren de Agua gang and militia. So the Venezuelan gangs took over an apartment complex and beat up the manager after they tried to force him. Like, tried is the key word, to give them 50% of the rent, or else he's going to lose the building. Well, he just got beat up after he refused to give the money. It's pretty bad. Next up, here is nanotechnology in the vaccines.
And in the background, you see all of these. What you see here is a Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 injection when it was first put on a slide. And in the background, you see all of these blinking lights and extreme activity. This is 100 times magnification. And here you see that something is self-assembled that we call microchips, because we have done studies that these microchips are actually emitting what's called a MAC address phenomenon.
Tell us what the flashing dots are in the background.
This is what's called nano and micro robots that are communicating with each other via light signal, and they are collaborating to self-assemble these larger structures that are microchips. And so this is in the realm of self-assembling nanotechnology. Here you see a micro robot emitting blue light. Here's another one. This background swarming is what I've seen in the human blood, and I will show you later images of that. They did analysis of COVID-19 injection and found 54 undeclared chemical elements, including fluorescent graphene oxide. And I have documented the fluorescence phenomena in the blood and with this technology extensively. I've looked at many childhood vaccinations now under the microscope, and they have the same self-assembling nanotechnology. Richard Hirschman sent me embalmed blood of a vaccinated individual who had been deceased for 8 months before. I got these vials in June of 2023, and you can see here the same filaments. And this is a video of ongoing self-assembly within this embalmed blood. And what you see here are these micelles, and they're filled with the same blinking lights that I showed you earlier in the COVID shots.
Yes, the technology to create nanobots is out there. A lot of organizations talk about their nanotechnology these days. But sometimes they hide what they're truly being used for and how they're truly damaging you. Next up, here is a North Carolina man who lost his home and offered his warehouse to FEMA, and now they're evicting it. Check it out.
If I look tired, that's because I am. I've been volunteering with the distribution of food and supplies with FEMA here luckily at the same building where the portal is, my business. On Friday, I found out companies have been sending these products that are not going to be distributed to the public because they don't meet certain health requirements. And they're going to store them in Suite 1400, the big room, which is where I have events and a big portion of my business model. for the next 90 days, they have to store all these hazardous food products, basically pallets and pallets of prime. Can't make this shit up. So that's a big hit. I'm like, okay, no events for 90 days. I can work with that. I still have other spaces. I still have this room, gallery hall, as well as another room on the other side of that wall. And then back here I have my office, which I call the utility room, because it was a utility room. And out here, the courtyard. Finally getting cleaned up. It's a big mess out here. But I just got a phone call today saying they need the courtyard to put 2 dumpsters in it. I said, okay. For how long? And they said, well, and why won't you put the dumpsters in the back with all the other dumpsters? Basically, and yeah, I can't make this shit up. Basically, they said, well, we don't want the dumpsters to be seen by people driving by or whatever. As a matter of fact, we just emailed you your lease termination paperwork. So you're telling me that FEMA and National Guard have just commandeered my space while I'm looking for a new place to live, volunteer, and still work to get some income whenever I can. Now it's all gone. It's not, we'll relocate you or compensate you for 90 days. It's straight, we need your space. You have 30 days to leave. I don't know what to do. I've been searching for a place like this for 3 years. I just put everything into this, all my time. You know how it goes. The portal to me is not just my art studio and where I make a living. It was everything to me. I would get another studio space before I find a place to live. Anytime, all the time, every time. Still in shock. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do. Here we go again. Support me if you want to. I really appreciate everybody.
That sucks, man. There's a lot of stuff it's really troubling for a lot of these Americans over there.
Now that's combining these findings with results from the SEM EDX.
So there's more information about the video I showed you about the unknown elements in vaccines. A lot of people are covering it. Oh, and here, check this out.
For you. I'm going to introduce you to a U.S. patent 111075888B12. It's right there on the top. Write it down. Go Google it for yourself if you don't believe me. Let's get into it. This is a patent application that was approved in 2021 that is used to vaccinate humans worldwide via a quantum link or pulsating microwave frequencies of 2.4 gigahertz or higher from cell towers, also known as 5G. Now, what does that mean, you ask? Let's just say that graphene oxide, which we know what it is, it's that black ooze that you see in those weird alien videos, got introduced to a vast amount of the population. What this patent states is they could then use 5G to make the graphene oxide produce, control, or manipulate certain things in the body. For the purposes of this, it would produce specific enzymes to make a certain product in your body come alive. Okay, so I Googled it. Like I saw this and I said, let me Google it myself. So let me pull up Google for you. Okay, here's the patent that you'll see. There's different places to look at it, but this is the Google Docs patent right here. Okay, you scroll down and I'm just going to read the abstract. There's several pages. I can't go into all the pages right now. I will, if someone wants further details, I'm down to go down the rabbit hole, if you really want to go down that path. Again, if you scare easy, might not be for you, okay? Abstract. An aspect of some embodiments of the invention relates to system and methods for anonymously selecting subjects for treatment against an infectious disease caused by a pathogen compromising one, a polarity of electronic devices configured with instructions to generate an ID when in the proximity of another such electronic device, aka your cell phone, which everyone has on them, and your cell phone is related to your IMEI number, which is controlled by your name specifically. You're on a list, whether you are, graphene oxide up or not. They can send this to specific people or send this to everybody. Okay, back to this. When in proximity of another such electronic device, one or both of transmit said ID to the other electronic device and receive an ID from another electronic device, generating a score based on a polarity of such received IDs, receiving information from a server, displaying relevant treatment instructions to the subject based on received information. I'll explain later. At least one server compromising instructions for sending to the polarity of the electronic device information to display the relevant treatment instructions, where at least one server or said electronic device compromise instructions to generate a prediction of likelihood of the subject transmitting a pathogen based on a score of the subject. So what does that mean? The graphene oxide makes your body a receiver. Your phone is a receiver. The server is a 5G tower. Well, the 5G tower is also a receiver. Okay. The main server will send the tower a message. The tower will then send that message to everybody's cell phone. Your cell phone will then be in proximity of you, the final receiver, which will then generate information causing the graphene oxide within your body to produce certain outcomes. Okay. Now, when you really start thinking about what does this patent do, what is its purpose, and what are they planning, start thinking and asking those questions and say, now we see 5G towers literally going up everywhere. This could get really scary, really fast, and could affect a lot of people instantly with a push of a button. Your cell phone will basically destabilize you or cause you to produce certain antibodies or whatever they really want your body to produce or do or shut down or reactivate. That's scary. This is a US controlled patent, meaning they had to develop this technology. They had to test this technology. They had to get ready for this technology. They had to put this out in the public, and they also had to prepare the infrastructure of setting up the towers. So this is long planned, long coming, long awaited, something they've been getting prepared for. I don't know what they're getting prepared for, but I know I'm like, what the, wow, that is unbelievable. But it's there, black and white. Google it yourself. When people say something's coming, something's coming.
So, there's a lot of information these days coming about the truth of our medical industry. People are sick of it. People are absolutely sick of it. Here's another clip of North Carolina, and this is coming from veteran groups.
Here, look at all the firefighters here. I've seen one FEMA agent since I've been here. He approached the front gate of our facility, and his request was, get this, cooperate with local government. Hey, you guys need to cooperate. And we're like, what are you talking about? We have, like, look at all the law enforcement here. Look at all the firefighters here. Yeah. We've had state senators come out here and land. We've had congressmen come out here and land. We've had Fox News here. We've had several other news media here to really capture what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, then you've got people like me who I'm just a guy with a phone trying to get the word out because the mainstream media is not doing their job, and so you got a donkey like me trying to do it.
We've been reported to the authorities for domestic terrorism.
Yeah,
we're a bunch of special operation veterans. it doesn't get any more American than what we're doing.
Yeah,
we're here to help the people.
So FEMA is calling people domestic terrorists and threatening them, threaten the cities and civilians and business owners, just like you seen over here earlier.
This is not
My video where the guy's warehouse is now being confiscated. He's being evicted, and FEMA wants to play bully on a lot of these people because they can take the land, they can sell it then, and then make whatever businesses and companies they want on it. And it's like a gang, and then it's like its own militia, its own freaking corrupt government. And yeah. Here's something from Donald Trump that people are questioning right here. This is just an interesting clip. So Donald Trump says he will go after video games, but maybe what he's talking about is what we just seen earlier with the Fortnite, where these kids on Fortnite can now go sell their soul to the devil. So like, why would you put that in a game where kids can sell their soul or sell their life and sell their health to the devil for gifts? Here's Trump.
Stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace. It is too easy today for troubled youth to surround themselves with a culture that celebrates violence. We must stop or substantially reduce this, and it has to begin immediately. We must stop the glorification of violence in our society.
Yeah, definitely. We must stop the glorification of violence and Satanism and all that. And well, next would be Alex Jones creating a new network after InfoWars was seized by the government for being too real. And in their own words, he has too much power and he's speaking too much truth. He has too big of an audience that he's shifting to better United States of America, and the powers that be don't like that.
Elected nationalist. As most of you know, the tyrannical, deep state controlled Democrats and the corporate prostitute whore media have been celebrating InfoWars to be potentially shut down November 13th when it goes up on the chopping block for auction. Well, guess what? My guest, myself, my crew are the info war. The info war goes on no matter what happens to a website or a shopping cart or this equipment. And they haven't broken our fighting spirit one bit. In fact, they've only hardened my resolve massively to fight even harder with our weapon, the truth. And man, the whole world is listening now. Populist movements are getting elected, nationalists all over the world, all the most prominent people, all the top talk show hosts, and people like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson and Russell Brand. The list goes on and on and on and on.
I will always say in public that Alex Jones is the most extraordinary person I've ever met. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones.
Even Megyn Kelly sounds like us now. Even Andrew Cuomo. Everybody is talking about the New World Order and the globalists, the depopulation plan, and the death cult because of InfoWars and our 30 years. We even get the credit from the good guys and the bad guys. That's why the bad guys want us shut down. It's like the old Terminator movie where they try to send the Terminator back in history to kill John Connor. Well, guess what? It's too late, because now there's thousands of prominent John Connors and hundreds of millions of others that know the truth. Skynet is done. The only question is, can they start World War III to try to claw humanity down into hell with them? So, as most of you know, November 13th, InfoWars is up for sale. If the bad guys get it, it's gone. But we have great sponsors that have pledged and committed one way or the other to get me right back on air. And a lot of stuff's been happening behind the scenes. So InfoWars survives. All that new great stuff that's been set up with some other great people will be rolled right into it. But regardless, I'm not going to count on that. We are going to fight as hard as we can on air and off air to get all this infrastructure and systems in place to reach the hundreds of radio affiliates and the TV and cable affiliates. Oh, yeah, we're on a lot of that, reaching tens of millions a day, and to continue with our reporters and crew. So we have launched a new link to a site, alexjones.network. And there'll be a lot of announcements and a lot of information there in the near future. It's bare bones right now. It's just a place for you to bookmark and understand that that's one of the key genesis points of what's coming in the near future, regardless of what happens to InfoWars. And then there's another URL that takes you to a subpage at alexjones.network, and that is alexjones.live. When you go to that page, you will see our sponsors, the AlexJonesStore.com, drjonesnaturals.com, my Vimeo account, a new Bitcoin account where it'll go directly to me so I can continue to fight at every level, both legal and for broadcasting, and so much more. And then there's some other key links there as well to X, where you can become a subscriber. And however you've donated, however you've supported with your time, your word of mouth, your prayer, or financially, I want to thank you all. But the products are really amazing at the AlexJonesStore.com. Game-changing supplements, amazing Patriot apparel to spread the word and meet like-minded people. DR Jones Naturals, cutting-edge supplements, and fluoride-free toothpaste full of essential oils, nano silver, and so much more at drjonesnaturals.com. So bookmark alexjones.network and alexjones.live so that no matter what happens in the future, you will be able to find me and what we're doing, and most importantly, be able to share those URLs. The Democratic Party suing me at every level has even filed in federal court to take real Alex Jones away from me on X. Terms of service say they can't do that. Elon Musk will just shut it down. We'll have to set up a new one, but all the lawyers and experts say they can't have my identity. It violates the 13th Amendment. But regardless, they're trying because they've been given the walking orders through the FBI, through the Justice Department, through the CIA. Remember, it all came out in court to shut me down. But they're literally picking a fight with the American people. So when you respond and make a donation to our legal defense fund at realalexjones.com. And again, it's all linked on one page at alexjones.live. Or when you buy a supplement or buy a t-shirt, you are literally backing an organization and a group of people that will not surrender ever, that cannot be bought off, that cannot be intimidated, but could collapse. We could give out. And that is all up to you. So please bookmark alexjones.network and alexjones.live, as well as our Give, Send, Go legal defense fund, realalexjones.com. But again, if you just go to alexjones.live, it's all listed right there, and all the sites are getting built. They're all getting expanded. We got great people we're working with, and we will not be silenced. Without giving out too much strategy, more will be announced in the days and weeks to come. But just remember what happened to Tucker Carlson. They kicked him off Fox, the number one news show in the world. He got conservatively 10 times bigger when they did that. And now he's got arenas full of tens of thousands of people. His average show gets about 50 million viewers when his Fox show got 5 million. It's just crazy because the people didn't desert Tucker Carlson. And I know you're not going to desert me either because you understand we're on the same team. So for myself and the crew here, InfoWars is not a website. It's not a name. It's not a shopping cart. It's not this equipment. It's myself and the crew and the supporters and all of us together and all the incredible guests and the documentary films and the books and the articles and the information we've put out that is recognized as some of the most accurate, over the horizon, tomorrow's news, today information anywhere. So I promise you to redouble my efforts in the fight. Humanity's waking up. We have the initiative. We're going to win, but it takes a commitment from we the people. So at this critical juncture of history, I thank you for your past support, however you've done it, and ask you from the bottom of my heart to realize we're at the most crucial point in the battle and the war for liberty right now, and your support isn't just critical. It is absolutely essential. Without it, we fail. With it, we win.
That's right. If we all work together, we win. Like this right here, a sneak peek at Kurahan Tepe, which Graham Hancock talks a lot about and Andrew Collins talks a lot about. You know, these archaeologists are constantly discovering new pieces of these civilizations. Or It's really, really old. So like an old civilization. 11,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago. Well, there's no audio with that, so that's about it. Check this out. Here's from Bill Clinton, though.
Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have. You had a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted and that doesn't happen.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
So Donald Trump came quick and approved that message. It's awesome. And here's about the New World Order and what these fake ones want.
This is going to be one kingdom. When the Mashiach will come, there'll be a new world order.
In order for Mashiach to come, you cannot have any other governments. It's going to be one kingdom, one malchut, one government. So you can look at it in the negative aspect of it, saying a new world order, a one government. Yeah, you're right. It is going to be a new world order. The new world of Mashiach with one order, the Torah, one government. Yeah, it's going to be a Sanhedrin. We're not going to have all the rest of the stuff. The time of the entire planet is done.
For Mashiach to take over the world, don't forget, at certain point, King Mashiach should be ruling the whole world. They themselves, the nations of the whole world, will ask him and beg him to take over their, at least the government, their government, to teach them the right way, to teach them how to live. The whole world will take him upon themselves as the leader. And then actually going to be a new world order, but not like those radical ones think. There's going to be a new world order, but the new world of God order.
Before Mashiach comes and a new world order is instituted, we need to destroy what existed previously. And we need a destruction of society and the world as we know it.
Every new reality means a total loss of the reality that came before it, referring to the coming of Mashiach and the new world order that comes with it. Okay? In other words, for what is coming, what is has to be unrecognizable. Nothing can remain. None of the world systems can remain. Nothing will remain because it's rotten to the core.
The spiritual heirs of the Roman Empire is the Western world, United States of America, so the USA will last until Mashiach comes.
Someone has to completely destroy this world and its system before the new one comes in. You want your one world government? So does God, no problem.
God will abolish every government on earth and hand over control of the whole world to Mashiach.
Mashiach will be the king of the entire world. There will be a monarchy restored to the world. Mashiach will be king, and he will be accepted by both the nation of Israel and all the nations of the world alike.
You may be wondering why Hashem wants to destroy his world. Why so much destruction, so much nuclear bombs and so forth. Before a new world is built, the old has to be destroyed.
The old has to be destroyed. It seems like everything's being destroyed, and there's one nation that doesn't like being called out for destroying everything. When you go online and say, hey, why are you guys destroying all the churches or bombing all these innocent civilians or blowing up pagers, they don't want to take any action. They don't even want to acknowledge it. They're like, oh, you anti-Semite, and they get mad. They get very satanic. It is what it is, I guess, right? They want their one world order. And here, we're going to start finishing out with some UFO pieces. Oh, if it loads. So here's a black triangle that the government has been working on. We've been working on these type of technologies for a while. Whoa. Plasma light. Bob Lazar's stories keep on getting more interesting every year, and the proof just keeps on coming out there that what Bob Lazar was saying definitely is true. Here's Randall Carlson speaking about new technology.
For decades now, basically in secret. And I've had the privilege of talking to some of these people over the last 6 or 7 years. And right now, as we're speaking, there's a group of people who are basically going to open source a whole lot of stuff in the next 3 months, so it can never get suppressed again. And that's why I'd like to come back and talk in more detail.
Well, I'd love to have you come back and talk about it, but we got to talk about it a little bit now.
Okay. Well, there's a laboratory right now in the Maldives that's been building prototypes using these technological principles, which are based on implosion rather than explosion. And the inspiration for this...
Tesla's ideas are part of it, I think you mentioned.
Tesla's ideas are very much a part of it. This is the work of Nikola Tesla. And he was, again, this is way too much for us to get in today. That's why we need to devote a whole session to talking about this.
Okay.
But this was the inspiration. You know, his work was suppressed.
What is all this?
Well, this is the model. And this is diagramming all the frequencies of the elements and what their vibrational frequencies are and the numbers that measure those frequencies. And they're all the numbers we get from looking at these ancient traditions that recur over and over and over again, that I've been talking about in my sacred geometry classes for decades without knowing what the final result was going to be. Plasmoids. Plasmoids, as it says here, are donut or toroidal-shaped clusters of net protons or net electrons that once captured and placed into a toroidal orbit are capable of absorbing, storing, and releasing enormous amounts of energy within their self-generated and structured electromagnetic containment field. Plasmoids, in effect, function as an atomic battery that can be self-charging due to its ability to convert matter to available clean energy. So it's a lot to get into, and I think it would take us kind of off what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, Randall Carlson. He's a really smart dude. I check out his podcast often, and he knows what he's talking about. Here's more UFO video over Argentina. Fascinating. Here is Dr. Stephen Greer saying that Lou Elizondo is a Satanist.
Another component, and this is the chief mentor for Luis Elizondo, that honestly are Satanists who love destruction, love torture, love to see war, like to see suffering. They're weird people, and I know them. I know who they are. Another component, and this is the chief mentor
who your alien really is.
General Saul.
Some years ago, I had a meeting with the Crown Prince of Liechtenstein, Hans Adam von Liechtenstein. He had reached out to me through some of his contacts. He said, look, Dr. Greer, we have to meet, but we can't talk about this on the phone.
So, I guess what Stephen Greer is saying is that these elites and these organizations are trying to cause disinformation, but also trying to cause an escalation of war for the New World Order and the Mashiach that these other guys were speaking about. Over in Israel, they want the New World Order, the Antichrist, to come about, so that way they can bring about Jesus Christ. So if they hurry up the Antichrist, then after the Antichrist will Jesus Christ is going to start coming more. They're trying to force return and force the end times. It's pretty wild. And here's a conspiracy. I'm not too sure exactly what's going on here, and there's conflicting reports. This happened in Washington, D.C. and Raleigh, North Carolina.
What's going on right now? I heard a noise. I come outside. There's sirens blaring, and I see this huge trail in the sky. It's midnight right now, and there's this huge trail, like something crash landed. What the heck is that? What is this? I wonder if there's anything on the news about this. Okay, I do not know.
Switch, a system whereby information about this and other matters that we've collected over the years would be disseminated if something were to happen.
Okay, I will not mince words. We have had in place for quite some time, unrelated to this story of Immaculate Constellation, that if you or I are removed from the equation, that you have absolute, uncontrolled, catastrophic disclosure of information that would be dangerous to the United States of America, that would be dangerous to global policy, that would be dangerous in many ways. And it benefits everybody to not fuck with journalists doing their job and sanitizing information prior to the good of public knowledge with no harm to the United States of America, putting it out.
The word mothership is becoming a well-known thing, and more and more people are seeing these motherships. Next, here's a big piece of news. So the Department of Defense just authorized the United States military that they could kill civilians.
But we want to start off with a headline from Zero Hedge. It's pretty hot headline. U.S. military now is authorized to kill Americans on U.S. soil. That can't be possible. This would open up the door for the careless use and it's more frequent and legal. It'll
Yeah.
be legal now, so nobody will have to worry about that. Send in the troops. We need you to shoot a couple of these people.
Yeah.
They're opposing our policies. They're demonstrating against COVID rules or something they'll come up with. So I think it's very, very dangerous.
So here it is. Now, Zero Hedge picked it up from Armageddon Pros, which is a Substack which they often run. It says U.S. military now authorized to kill Americans on U.S. soil, just ahead, intriguingly, of November elections, and that was my second thought. The military has granted itself permission to unleash lethal force on the civilian population. Again, I thought this has got to be an exaggeration. So I went and looked, and actually go to the next one because this explains what it is. Now, it's not a law; it's a DoD directive. So this is, the administrative state where they take over. They don't pass laws; they are laws unto themselves. Go to the next one if you can, because this is what they're talking about. And I went and I read this secondly, and it talks about a reissued DoD directive that was reissued just on September 27th. 2024. It governs the Department of Defense intelligence activities and now includes provisions authorizing lethal force in certain circumstances. And it supplants the 2016 version, which did not mention that. So I read all of this too, which is someone else's analysis. I said, okay, this sounds even more troubling. I want to go look at the document itself. And so go to the next one. I actually went and looked at the DoD directive. It's DoD directive 5240.01. Now go to the next one. I'm just going to get to this really quick so I can just show people this is on their own website. Now this is section 3 of that directive, assistance to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. Now go to the next one. Now this is levels of authority. This is section 3.3. Defense intelligence components may provide personnel to assist a federal department or agency, including a federal law enforcement agency or a state or local law enforcement agency, when lives are in danger in response to such a request for such assistance in accordance with the following approval authorities. Now, here are the authorities. I'm sorry to get so far into the woods here, but go to the next one. Responding with assets with potential for lethality. And I underline this, I highlighted it, or any situation where it is reasonably foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. I'm sorry to bog the discussion down with that, Dr. Ball, but I really wanted to hone in on this is their actual document. It's not just someone's analysis.
So what that says is the Department of Defense and the U.S. military and the big governments have given military and federal agencies authority to kill anyone that they think is dangerous or a threat to the government. So it's not even like they're spying on people anymore. They're just gonna they can go kill and execute people if they want, which is absolutely insane. American government is the devil. No other way to say it. Here, there's more UFOs.
That's as far as it goes. On video. I'm taking the video of it. They don't know. Goes away. What the hell?
What is going on? Do you see that?
Yeah, I believe about like eight years ago, I had maybe 8 to 10 years ago, I had seen some videos of one of the Black Triangle aircraft being escorted by these helicopters. Yeah, there's some real stuff going on. And to finalize this, Here is Kevin Owens beating up Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. It looks like 95% staged for sure, but there are some real punches and blows. But the thing is, there was no actual TV cameras, so the only recordings are from actual fans, which is just interesting, or the cameras in the building. So it's, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem staged. It kind of seems staged. It's very confusing. I'm gonna let you guys watch this and tell me what you guys think.
Okay, they were alive, brother. Oh, hey,
From the other angle, you can see that punch actually hit him.
holy shit! What? Oh, fuck! Kevin, no! Kevin! Calm down! Kevin, what the fuck are you doing? You can't do that! Kevin!
Those kicks actually hit him.
Okay, they were alive, brother.
There's more clips where he just goes speeding off. So here, I'm gonna show a different angle now.
They doing it with their husband and walking.
I got most of it. Come on. What are you so mad for? You see it?
In the
I think WWE is kind of trying to bring back the realness. I mean, I know back in the day, like people used to actually be punched, and like there was a lot of blood. You know, there was literally barbed wire bats. You know, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying wrestling is 100% fake, but or I'm not saying it's 100% real, but at least these days it's not 100% fake either. And here's Kevin Owens attacking Randy Orton. I'm still confused on whether these were staged or real because, like, I just don't know. The fact that there's literally no actual TV cameras or studio like people, the film crew. There's no film crews, so I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Yeah, you could tell that one hit too. Yeah, it's pretty wild. And that's it, guys. That's all I'm dropping today. I hope you guys have had a good night and enjoyed this broadcast. I'm sorry about the first 30 minutes. It seems like my audio had cut out. Even my video camera had cut out. My computer had restarted. So this episode was supposed to be way shorter, but due to technical difficulties and glitches. It is what it is. You guys enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. God bless. Be blessed. Be high. Peace.